the things that Iran is exposing from the West. And I want to touch on a couple of subjects, but we're going to do it slowly and methodically. And one of the things is that they have these Ivy League universities, right? Like they have the Yale, they have Harvard, Stanford, Duke, just to name a few. I know I missed a few, but they're not important once we keep going on with this talk, is that they have all these Ivy League universities that teach ways of thinking. They teach about strategy, they teach about foreign relations, they talk about communications law, medicine. But one of the things that's very troubling to me is that who didn't mention to the president that choking off the Strait of Hormuz wasn't going to affect world markets? Didn't any of the economists step in? Didn't any of the political science guys step in? Didn't anybody worth their degree from these Ivy League universities that spend hundreds of thousands of dollars per semester or year for a ridiculously expensive education with actually no education, just a piece of paper? Because had one of them told the president what would have happened when they choked off the Strait of Hormuz and what it would do for energy, because at the end of the day, the United States is only the United States because it has the petrodollar. It's the only reason. It has nothing else. It doesn't have an education system. It doesn't have a healthcare system. It doesn't have a road system. It doesn't have a military, as we can see, because they said that they were going to get rid of the Iranians in days. We're going on week 5, folks. And, well, that means that you have no strategy. So wasn't there any strategist from West Point stepping in? Oh, right. Pete Hegseth was a Fox film star. He wasn't a strategist. He wrote a book, but it didn't make him smart. And moving on from that is that if you had all of these educated people, not one of them mentioned what a bad idea it was. And the best part is that they're doubling down on the bad idea. See, it's one thing to have a bad idea. It's another thing to agree with you that that idea was good. And this is where we are today. So now that we got that out of the way, so that if nobody mentioned to the president that this is going to cause catastrophic events throughout the world, I could understand that if he didn't care what happened on the other side of the planet. I understand that. And what's good for my own people. But what happened wasn't even good for its own people. You see, gas is $6 a gallon in Canada. And it is almost $4 in the United States. This is astronomical. Not only does your president want you to pay for the war, but it also wants you to help his friends who benefit from being at war, such as the Exxon Mobils and the Chevrons and the Conocos and such. We don't have to name them all. I don't want to embarrass them. But the fact of the matter is that why, out of all of these brains that supposedly are created in the United States, how come none of these brains are meant to figure out what's good for the people rather than what's good for corporate interests? Because you see what's going on with the Main Street and Wall Street. They've split. And they are never going to return because Main Street doesn't trust Wall Street. And once that trust is broken, once people stop using the dollar to exchange, well, what's going to happen is you're going to see a new breed of commerce take place. And I'm going to blow the whistle on this, and I think that it's going to be barter and trade. I think a lot more people are going to get into the trade less into these Ivy League institutions that all they really do is put you into debt. They don't give you an education, because an education would be what Iran is doing, and that is making do with the little that they have, rather than being in the most abundant country in the world and not being able to do anything with it. And on that, I'm going to close. There you have it.